Hey guys, it's Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. I'm so excited to share with you the Peaceful Deer Stamp-A-Stack. I am going to help you bust out your Christmas cards, beautiful and quick. This Stamp-A-Stack is a Wonder Recipe number 8 and Wonder Recipe number 14 Stamp-A-Stack. We're doing a little different this time. We're cutting our paper 2 different ways and mixing and matching to make a set of 9 beautiful Christmas cards. This Stamp-A-Stack will make 3 of this "Oh What Fun" greeting. Gorgeous. 2 of this Merry Christmas greeting. 2 of this Merry Christmas greeting, and 2 of this wishing you a wonderful year in friendship, dear greeting. Our first design in the Stamp-A-Stack is this one. So let's get started by cutting our designer series paper. Now there is an optional class packet in the Kitchen Table Stamper store. They're available while supplies last. Buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop. And then when you get there on the right-hand menu, use the filter, the product filter, search for class packets, and you'll be able to see at a glance if there are any left. In the packet, you'll find a quarter package of the Peaceful Prints Designer Series paper. Now, we won't find that in mine because I have already done a whole stack of these cards with this quarter pack of paper. So I don't have the whole stack. I have the scraps from the first stack. But you're going to choose 4 patterns from the Peaceful Prints. I'm going to choose these 4. You get 2 each of the designs in your kit. Let me show you the other designs that come in this kit. You get 2 of the Sahara Sand and White Plaid. This is Sahara Sand deer pattern. And then this gorgeous birch and like a peppermint stripe. So you'll get 2 each of those designs in the kit. I'm going to use these 4 patterns for my cards. I'm repeating exactly. I'm going to take 2 of them and I'm going to cut them according to Wonder Recipe number 8. And then in our next video, I'm going to cut the other 2 according to Wonder Recipe number 14. And if you follow the Kitchen Table Stamper, you know that Wonder Recipe number 14 is a brand new Wonder Recipe. We'll cut these papers in video number 2 for our second card. For now, I am going to just pop them right into here. Grab a paper trimmer, and we are going to cut these guys. And we're going to use tried and true Wonder Recipe number 8. So if you're unfamiliar with the Wonder Recipe is a 6x6 1-sheet Wonder cutting diagram. It's scalable. You can cut 1 sheet, say this one, and use both sides and mix and match the pieces. Or you can cut multiple sheets and scale the designs. We are going to cut 2 sheets, and I am going to do this so that my trees are along the long side. So when you have a paper with an orientation, you have to think about how you're going to use your pieces before you cut. I am going to go ahead and first cut off for Wonder Recipe number 8, 1 3/4 of an inch. And you'll notice that I've got my pine trees facing up in the trimmer here. So 1 3/4. And then with that piece, you'll notice I'm cutting both pieces at one time. My second piece is not a directional pattern. Then I'm going to cut off 2 3/4. And I'm going to pop those right on the diagram. I'm going to rotate my paper and cut off 2 inches. Pop those in the diagram and cut off 2 inches. And there are our pieces for Wonder Recipe number 8. Now for our 3 cards in this video, we're going to use these 6 pieces. So I'm going to take those for our video right now and set these aside for a future video. This is a 4-part series, by the way, and you are in video number 1. Here's our sample. Now let's take a look at the card kit again. When you get the card kit, you get all of your cardstock pieces die cut or punched for you. You get the embellishments that you need. We've got red rhinestones. We do all your die cutting and punching. There's your little bits, your little embellishments, and you've got fine art ribbon. This is a 1/4 of a spool. The first 3 kits in your kit, or the first 3 cards in your packet, are going to be the kits for this design. And then you'll notice after that you'll find your snowflakes, and you'll have a full sheet of snowflakes. I'm using one that I've already started. So we're gonna punch out our 3 snowflakes and put the other 3 back in the kit for another design. These laser cut snowflakes are so beautiful. They're a little bit delicate, so what I like to do is just hold the snowflake and kind of lift the scrap until you hear the connecting little space snap. And then once it snaps, you can just take the little snowflake out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pop out 2 more, one for each card. All right, so now I've got 1 set of Designer Series paper cut and 1 snowflake for each card. And we're doing a Stamp-A stack, so we're gonna work in batches. Inside your card kit, you'll find Sahara Sand card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. You'll find a layer for your background. It's also Sahara Sand. And this one is 3 3/4 by 5. We did all of the die cutting for you for the layers. Let me show you those things. From the layering circles, we die cut 2 1/8 inch from basic white and 2 9/16, so that 3rd largest scallop from Sahara Sand. And then from Real Red, we die cut the scallop end label. It's not the largest, not the smallest. It's kind of that medium one, not the long one, from the seasonal labels. I love the die chart because they can kind of show you which one to cut. It's sometimes hard to tell from a video or a photograph. And then we've got from Basic Black, the largest swoopy square from Hippo and Friends. Now you'll need one of those for each card. Because this is a Stamp-A stack, I like to batch work. So I went ahead and I stamped the backgrounds on the other copies. Let's get this first one caught up. We're gonna stamp the backgrounds. I've got Sahara Sand cardstock and Memento Tuxedo Black ink. My background for this one, my chosen background, is the festive foliage. Of course, you can use any background that you want here for this. You can stamp or emboss. We don't do your stamping or embossing for you. It's against Stampin' Up rules for me to stamp, and embossing would just probably kill me. It's hundreds of cards. So you can choose any background you like here. I like the high contrast of this foliage on the Sahara Sand stamped in black. So when I'm doing a background, I like to stamp on a scrap grid paper first. So I put the block or the stamp on the Stamparatus, ink it, and then stamp. Then I can see exactly where my stamp is going to make an impression. I can lay my cardstock right over the stamped image on the grid paper, then ink my background stamp, and now we'll make an impression. When I'm doing the background stamp, I like to really put pressure in the middle, give it a good squeeze in the middle, and then just hold with one hand while I walk with the other. And let the ink have some time to transfer. And there is our beautiful background. I love it. Kind of high contrast, really cool. I'm going to repeat this process for every card. There are 9 in the series, and all of them are going to have the same background treatment. So if you're stamping a stack, you want to go ahead and do all of your backgrounds right now. I'll refer you back to this video on the rest of them. We've got 3 copies of this card. So we're going to adhere our background stamping, our background layer, our Designer Series paper, and some of the labels right now for all of the copies of the card. I'm going to use some liquid glue and start with that stamped panel. And we'll adhere that centered on the front of the card. Then we can adhere our Sahara Sand scallop, to our real red scallop label, and then our real red scallop label to our black swoopy square. Sometimes I can tell if it's level easier if I look at it from the back. All right, once you've got those 3 labels, now let's get our designer series paper. We're going to adhere those to the card front using liquid glue. Oh, it's so hard to glue down the pretty side. Look at those cute little deer. Designer series paper, and then the labels. The labels are going to go off center to the right a bit so that we have room for our trees and stars. So good. All right, we're going to stamp a stack of 3 of this design. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other 3 together. I love this because as I'm instructing these videos, I'm also getting my own Christmas cards done. So I do hope that these Stampa stacks are a help and a benefit to you, and that the Wonder recipes inspire you to just get stamping. Cut your paper and go. All right, I'm going to catch these guys up, and I'll meet you right back here for some stamping. Okay, so copy number 2 and 3 are caught up and even ahead just a little bit. Let's do some stamping. We're using the Peaceful Deer bundle. Love this bundle. It's a photopolymer set. You can bundle it up with the deer punch and save 10%. I've got some garden green, real red, and again, we're going to get that tuxedo black. Since we've got a photopolymer stamp set, I got my Stampin' Pierce mat and that circle from our kit. It's a 2 1/8 inch circle. We're gonna grab some grid paper and stamp a little snowflake pattern on the back. It's really fun because this little snowflake image is in the Peaceful Deer, and my cutting crew was looking everywhere for the black and white pattern paper that I used on this Stampa stack because they weren't sure if they needed to cut it for you or not. So look at that stamp. Isn't that cool? It looks almost like a printed paper, really trendy black and white one. Now in your kit, you're gonna find some half sheets of basic white. I've already done some of my pieces ahead, my duplicate pieces ahead. And you're going to find a 1/4 sheet of Sahara sand. We need these white pieces right now. We're going to make 3 of this Oh What Fun Deer, 3 of the large trees stand, and 2 of the 2 trees. By the magic of television, I do that a lot for these Stampa stacks. I've already done 2 of the large tree and 2 of the deer, the Oh What Fun Deer, and 2 of the 2 trees. So got that done. Let's do our 3rd set here for our 3rd card. All of these pieces, all these stamps are from Peaceful Deer. We're going to do a large tree. And then this adorable Oh What Fun Deer. Love it. I'm going to stamp this one in real red. Did I tell you that my trees are garden green? I think I did. We want to watch the orientation of our punch so we can place our stamp so it's easiest to get out of there with the punch and we don't ruin anything else. There's our little Oh What Fun. Let me clear away the ink pads and the Stampin' Pierce mat, and we'll cut and punch. If I leave an open ink pad, I'm guaranteed to ruin something. I'm going to punch out our deer. I do think that we should have a die set for these trees, but we don't, so I'm going to fussy cut them. You can absolutely substitute the Stampin' Cut trees with something that you have that has a punch or a die. I like to try to do these Stampa stacks with focus on one stamp set or one bundle, but if you've got something that'll make little pine trees a little bit easier, if you don't love to cut, that's okay. I love to cut, so this doesn't bother me at all, but you can substitute these out if you don't want to cut them all. I'm just going to cut the little ground and the trunk. Some of them you're going to see it, and then I'm going to do a little white border. When I fussy cut, I'm just going to bubble cut that tree, and you see I just move the tree, not the scissors. I'm going to cut them both out and meet you right back here. We'll get them on the cards. Okay, my bits are cut and punched, and I put some dimensional on the back. The big trees will go flat, but the deer and the small trees can get some dimensional adhesive. Now I'm going to slide these aside, bring in my sample, and we're going to adhere the circle that we stamped with the gorgeous snowflake pattern. Little liquid glue and a little swoosh of snowflakes behind our deer. And then the snowflake that we popped out earlier, let's get that on. I'm going to put some liquid glue in the center of the snowflake. Then I just kind of brush the glue bottle, go back to that in the center, and just kind of move some of that glue to the tips of the snowflake. It doesn't need a lot of glue, especially since we're going to kind of collage over it. We're going to glue that one down at the bottom right corner of our card. Beautiful. Let's get that ribbon. We've got some fine art ribbon here. Got a gorgeous gold shimmer in a nice neutral kind of Sahara sand ribbon. It's beautiful. We're going to need 3 lengths that are about 8 inches. I'm just going to fold and then trim the ends, get a nice angle. You can adhere to the card here with a little tear and tape or a couple of glue dots. I'm going to add a little strip of tear and tape where I want my ribbon to sit. Lift the liner and attach. Now we've got a deer, a double tree, and a big tree. Let's get the big tree and add it with some liquid glue. We can be generous here because it's going to also help secure that ribbon. And then double trees with dimensional. And each layer is going to help secure the layer below here. Beautiful. Now the star of the show, our little oh what fun deer. Love, let's embellish. We've got some red rhinestones, and we die cut these gorgeous gold foil stars for you. Now we die cut these gold foil stars using the Give It a Whirl dies. And this die set does the Viewmaster cards, so super fun. They've got a little wheel, and then you turn the wheel and it exposes little pictures. I'll have to do a video with this now that I've got these dies. But I bought them because I love the stars, the clouds, the hearts, the arrows, all the fun wingman pieces in this set. So I got a Viewmaster die set, like a Give It a Whirl die, but I love all the accessory pieces with that die set. So let's grab one of each size for each card from our gold foil. We can adhere them with liquid glue. The hearts came from that same die set too, but we're going to use those on another card. Okay, put all your little bits back secure. You don't want to lose any. Those are pieces for our next designs. Got my liquid glue, and I'm going to glue my biggest star. I got the biggest one kind of off, almost floating above the little 2 trees, and then my small one that's going to look like it's the topper for this big tree, and then we need a 3rd one to make a little triangle. That guy is going to go right there. So we got triangle placement. I'm going to catch up our other 2 copies. We're stamping a stack after all, so let's get the trees and deers and ribbon and stars on our other ones. I'll meet you right back here. All right, guys, we're all back. Everybody's got a deer and some trees, some beautiful gold stars. Now, last touch, the final touch, is adding these beautiful red rhinestones. I think they're the perfect little bit of sparkle for this color palette and this style of card. They definitely bring a little extra bling to the party, don't you think? I'm doing 5 on each card. It's blingy. All right, guys, there they are. If you've got any questions about the class or the project, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com to check and see if there are still optional class packets available. Buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop, filter using the drop-down menu on the right-hand side for class packets. You'll be able to tell at a glance if we still have any of these. And to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in video number 2, where we'll make this beautiful Merry Christmas design. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.